tonight on Elon Local News.
Elon University is known for its study abroad programs, but coming up, find out why some students are coming home earlier than planned.
Then we'll tell you about one student organization using fashion to make a statement.
And the Elon Community Church celebrates a big birthday. We take a look at Elon's involvement in a congregation nearly as old as the university itself.
All that and more. Elon Local News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for tuning in to Elon Local News. I'm Brianna McClelland.
And I'm Jackie Pascale.
We begin tonight with continuing coverage of the Elon community's response to the controversial NC House Bill 2. Connor Del Prete is outside McClelland Dining Hall where students are kicking off the annual Spectrum Spring Pride Week. Connor?
Thanks, Brianna. That's right. I'm here outside of McClelland Dining Hall where Pride Week 2016 is kicking off with Barbecue sponsored by Spectrum. As you can see, the people behind me are loving the food and the good conversation. And this week comes in a timely manner for the LGBTQIA community as House Bill 2, a bill that repealed a Charlotte ordinance that allowed transgender people to use the bathroom that matches the gender they identify with, has become part of the national spotlight. I looked into how the organization hosting this event is looking to bring physical changes to campus.
When Governor Pat McCrory signed House Bill 2, organizations around the state voiced their displeasure with the bill, including Spectrum, Elon's Queer Straight Student Alliance. President Monique Swirsky has been active at protests around the state.
We organized our own protest at the city council meeting in Raleigh, and that was last Tuesday. HB2 was not on the agenda for the city council, so we want HB2 to be on the agenda for not just Raleigh City Council, but also Burlington, Greensboro.
Now, Spectrum is trying to make their impact felt on campus.
Members of Spectrum are waiting to hear back from the university about a petition proposal that would change a bathroom like this one here in Mosley to a multiple occupancy restroom. Organizers say if the university approves the proposal, it would be a significant step forward.
I think that taking an actionable step of actually changing a bathroom is a way to not just say, we reaffirm you, but show and prove that we support our commitment to inclusion and diversity.
Swirsky says if the petition proposal is approved, Spectrum is hoping for several hundred signatures from students across campus.
That's really just to show that this is something that students want to the administration. And when the administration hears that there is that student push for these changes, they're more likely to listen than just one student group saying, we would like this.
Swirsky says she expects to hear back from the university about the petition proposal this week.
That's all we have from Barbecue outside of McClelland Dining Hall. I'm Connor Del Prete. Jackie, back to you.
Thanks, Connor. Elon Student Government Association is drafting a resolution to the controversial House Bill 2, according to SGA Executive President Kyle Porro. Elon faculty issued their own resolution last Monday denouncing the bill, and the university released a statement reaffirming its commitment to inclusivity. And President Lambert also wrote a letter to the editor of the Burlington Times News in March, calling the legislation stunning and disappointing. Porro says he expects the legislation to pass at Thursday's SGA meeting.
On campus this weekend, a group of Elon students took to the stage in McKinnon Hall on Saturday night. Our Megan Ford introduces you to one organization using fashion and dance to spread their message.
Black, proud, strong, happy.
An event that has been in the works since January is more than just a fashion show, and it wasn't just a Saturday night event. Fashion show co-director Alexis Williams says the show titled The Struggle Continues is rooted in African American history.
The struggle to be human continues, to be seen as human continues.
Even though their audience is the entire Elon community, Williams says they are primarily reaching out to the white population. First-year Sammy Foster was a model in Saturday Night Show and says it's all about understanding.
The struggle continues, so it's like another way to draw people in and like embrace unity. They're putting on the show to like engage like not just like a black audience, but like a white audience too. And if like they see it and they see the fashion, then they're like, oh, I resonate with that, you know. They'll be like, oh, I resonate with that fashion.
The Black Student Union says they are a safe haven for black students on campus. They call themselves a support system, and they are reaching out to the rest of the Elon community for empathy.
It is hard to be black.
Williams says the white population at Elon may not feel comfortable approaching the Black Student Union.
There's no need for intimidation. What we do is not to take away from anything that anyone else does. It is just ours.
As a member of the Black Student Union, Williams wants to stress some students' experiences on campus are as different as black and white. Megan Ford, Elon Local News.
And next year, Elon's own Kenneth Brown Jr. will be directing the fashion show. He spent Saturday night as the only male model. Let's take a look.
Racial tensions were a popular topic on campus this weekend as the Department of Performing Arts production Clybourne Park premiered at McCrary Theater. The Tony Award-winning show is set in two different time periods, 1959 and 2009. Race relations and changing cultures were the focus of the play, a precursor to the playwright Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun. Junior acting major Nicole Bloom played Lindsay and Betsy, two white pregnant women.
So in the second act, the neighborhood is going through gentrification, and my husband and I, in the show, are buying a home that is now in a predominantly African-American neighborhood. So I think, race is definitely a big issue, and it's kind of showing what has changed or what hasn't about our views on race from the 1950s to now.
While race is being examined on Elon's campus, free speech is on the minds of college students across the nation, according to a Gallup poll released earlier this month. 73% of American college students say their right to free speech is secure, according to Gallup. Other adults were less confident, with only 56% saying they believe their right to freely express themselves won't be infringed. The results are a combination of two separate polls, where Gallup served more than 3,000 college students in one and 2,000 adults in the other.
The survey also found U.S. college students are confident in other First Amendment rights. 81% believe freedom of the press is secure, and 76% are confident in their freedom to petition the government. The poll found that black college students are less likely than white college students to believe the right of people to assemble peacefully is secure, with only 39% of black students agreeing compared to 70% of white students.
Elon University is currently ranked #1 in the nation by Princeton Review for study abroad programs, offering students a chance to grow and experience new languages and cultures. Our Emeritus studies found some students coming home from a program long before expected.
For junior Ryan Finn, Elon was synonymous with the dual degree program in Germany, where students spend 2 years at Elon and 2 years in Germany.
I think one of my first few days at Elon, if not my first day there, I basically signed up for the program.
Finn, along with 4 other Elon students, left for Germany in the fall, but things, he says, didn't go as planned.
Trying to convince myself that I wasn't absolutely miserable at this school. And like I said, it's because I hadn't properly set my expectations.
Teaching style, cost of paying Elon tuition for a German education, and a lack of student resources, Finn says, brought him and 2 other Elon students to consider flying home a whole year early.
Purported benefits of studying at the German university that we studied at, in our minds, did not outweigh the benefits of studying at American universities.
According to Director of Elon's Study Abroad program, Rhonda Waller, the dual degree program with Germany was established in 2010 and has sent 9 students to study and intern. She says while their departure is disappointing, she isn't surprised.
I don't think this was ever conceived as something that would be, wildly popular among hundreds of Elon students.
While Finn and 2 other students plan on returning to campus in the fall, they aren't the first Elon students to leave the dual degree program in Germany earlier than planned.
A bit of an inside joke at our German college that all the Americans leave.
Julie Dengler is the program coordinator for the German-American program at ESB Reutlinger. She says Elon students need to be more aware of what they're signing up for.
They just need to realize that it's challenging. They should know ahead of time that we are not Elon being transported from North Carolina to Reutlinger, Germany.
But for Finn, he has some advice for his freshman self and others considering the program.
I would probably tell freshman Ryan to set his expectations realistically.
Meredith Stutz, Elon Local News.
Finn plans on finishing his Elon degree in international business and finance. For more on Finn's thoughts on the value of his German education, check out elonlocalnews.com. The sun was shining and it was a beautiful day on campus. Coming up after the break, Ashley Boley is live with this week's Phoenix 5-day forecast.
And the Elon Community Church celebrated a big milestone this weekend. What the church means to the greater Elon community after the break. You're watching Elon Local News.
Welcome back to Elon Local News. For the more than 400 students who call New York home, tomorrow is their chance to vote in the 2016 primary. Here's a preview of what to expect. On the Republican side, there are 95 delegates up for grabs, with confusing rules when it comes to who gets what delegates. 3 delegates go to the winner of each of New York's congressional districts, allowing the non-winning candidates to pick up support in the areas of the state they perform well in. 14 delegates are awarded based on statewide overall results. In a recent NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, Donald Trump leads Ohio Governor John Kasich by more than 25%, with Texas Senator Ted Cruz trailing with 16%.
On the Democratic side, there are 291 delegates up for grabs, awarded to the candidates proportionally based on the number of votes they get. Recent NBC News Wall Street Journal polls put Hillary Clinton way on top in her home state, leading Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders by more than 15 percentage points. Absentee ballots needed to be postmarked by today in order to be counted by the New York State Board of Elections. Polls close across the state tomorrow at 9 p.m. Stay tuned to Elon Local News throughout the 2016 election season as we bring you all the latest on the race to the White House.
With those delegate numbers and the presidential race in full swing, it's important to make sure you understand all of the legal jargon candidates are using. Well, there's an app for that. Countable is an application and online source that breaks down the various laws Congress is considering on Capitol Hill. But what sets it apart from similar applications is that you are able to interact with your elected representatives. When using Countable, you are able to read summaries of upcoming and active legislation, directly tell your lawmakers how you would vote by choosing yay or nay, and follow how your elected official voted on bills so you can keep them accountable during their time in office. Aside from describing legislation, Countable profiles current presidential candidates and their views on the bills at hand. Countable also breaks down the various trending issues, including counterterrorism, the economy, ISIS, defense, social justice, and the Middle East. Countable is available free online on iOS and Android devices, and it's a great way to educate yourself before Election Day.
Back on campus now, events for Sexual Assault Awareness Month continue this week. Sparks, Elon's peer education organization, has several events scheduled to support survivors and raise awareness about sexual violence. This Wednesday, there will be a student-led roundtable discussion on rape culture and how to be a better ally for survivors. The discussion starts at 7:30 in McBride Gathering Space. On Thursday, Sparks and the Inter-Residence Council will be hosting a consent and sex trivia night. Students can form teams and compete for prizes by answering trivia questions on sex and consent. The top teams will receive free Consent is Sexy tanks. The event will take place in McKinnon Hall at 10 p.m. And finally, Denim Day is next Wednesday, April 27th. Members of the Elon community are encouraged to wear denim to take a stand against victim blaming and stand together with victims and survivors. For more information on the events this month, check out elonlocalnews.com.
The town of Elon's Community Church turned 125 this weekend. Our Paul LeBlanc talked to the community about the congregation's impact.
This has been a worshiping congregation from the beginning of Elon's history. So we want to recognize and celebrate that.
The Elon Community Church celebrated its 125th anniversary on Sunday, reminding the Elon community of its historic place in the university's history. University Chaplain Jan Fuller says the church has been a special place for students since the start.
So many of our staff and faculty and students have been touched by this church and its ministries and have come through this church and really consider this church home.
Founded in 1891, 2 years after the founding of Elon College in 1889, the congregation has been welcoming community members ever since. Fuller says the church is a large part of the Elon community, with some students sticking around long after graduation.
I mean, the people are so nice and you feel friendly, you feel excited, and I don't know, I'm just happy. It makes my week go better.
Richard Denault graduated Elon in 1984. But after moving back to the area with his wife, he says the church he attended as an undergrad was still the right fit.
So it's just, I guess, a big circle, and it's just exciting to be part of the history.
But just because the church and the university are on opposite sides of the street does not mean they don't share history. Just ask President Emeritus Dr. J. Earl Danieley, who was there when the church was writing its inaugural document.
I remember one of the things that somebody had to say, and it was that this church needs a constitution. Well, okay.
So when Danieley took a trip to Alabama with a friend, he didn't waste any time.
So as Grant drove me to Alabama, I sat in the back seat of my car and wrote a church constitution.
As the church continues to hold weekly services, Fuller says its future is just as bright as its past.
We'll be working side by side with them in the community to serve the needs of Elon, our students, faculty and staff, and beyond the world.
Paul LeBlanc, Elon Local News.
Services are held at the community church every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m.
And today was a nice, sunny, beautiful Monday. Very warm outside, different from the sunny but cold temperatures we've been seeing the past couple weeks.
I know. I was able to eat my lunch outside on my porch and enjoy the sunshine, which was the perfect remedy for the past few cold days we've been having.
Absolutely. Our Ashley Boley is live under the Oaks right now with more of our weather for this week. Ashley, what's it looking like?
Thank you, Jackie. If all Mondays could start like this, I would be very happy. Today's high was 85 degrees and there was a low of 52. All those sunny skies have been gorgeous out here. Tomorrow, we have a high of 88 degrees and a low of 54, so it'll be a nice warm college coffee with some partly cloudy skies. Wednesday, it gets cooler with a high of 76 and a low of 54, but we shouldn't see any clouds. And on Thursday, we jump back up to 80 degrees with a low of 59. And the clouds are rolling back in, so it becomes a little more humid for our Not So Friday, which happens to have a high of 76 and a low of 54. That rain chance is at 70 degrees, but don't let it dampen your mood because with the weekend we will be seeing some sunshine. From Under the Oaks, I'm Ashley Boley. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ashley. After the break, one Elon student is making a mark online. We'll have his story coming up.
But before we go to break, let's take a look at what's happening this week at Elon. Welcome back. One Elon student is taking his talents online. Our Rachel Ellis introduces you to Chann Little.
Sleepovers, late night chats, and deep conversation with friends can be a bonding experience like no other. Elon Jr. Chann Little says the relationships in his life are quite special to him, prompting him to share tips and what he considers relatable conversation with more than just his circle of friends.
I want to appeal to people that are younger, and I feel like I want to continue to do a whole bunch of relatable topics.
Little started a video blog on YouTube called Pillow Talk, where he discusses different topics relatable to his viewers, such as dating and friendship. Little has hosted 2 Pillow Talks already with a few of his best friends, but he plans on bringing other people from the Elon community onto the show in the future.
So I want to get to a point where I'm having conversations with different people in the community that aren't my friends, only because I want to make this open to anyone that wants to be on Pillow Talk.
Was inspired to start Pillow Talk through his interest in speaking to others and is using it as an outlet to express himself.
The main reasons why I want to start a blog is just to get to know people, have that creative freedom, and to be able to have something on my own.
Little has shot, edited, and produced his past 2 shows himself and wants people to know that he takes the show seriously. Little plans on continuing production of Pillow Talk throughout the summer, but purchasing his own equipment and coming up with fresh conversation ideas to keep the show interesting and popular with viewers.
I think that in order to continue Pillow Talk and still make it exciting and something that a lot of people want to go to every single week and watch, I think that I just have to stay open to criticism. A lot of people have been giving me a lot of suggestions about where Pillow Talk can go and what topics I can talk about, so just always listening to what people have to say.
Little hopes he can turn his passion for lifestyle discussion into something that can be helpful for his viewers and beneficial in his own life. Rachel Ellis, Elon Local News.
Little's videos can be found on his YouTube channel, Chann Daily.
Elon's chapter of Phi Beta Kappa held their induction ceremony this afternoon. Baylor University professor Robert Darden spoke at the ceremony. Darden is the director of Baylor University's Black Gospel Music Restoration Project, a campaign he started after studying music as a means to fight oppression.
Endorphins and adrenaline and gives us and empowers us, and if it's sacred singing for a cause, that if we're there against oppression, if we're against injustice, and the singing encourages us.
Founded in 1776, Phi Beta Kappa is the nation's oldest and most prestigious academic society. Elon's Eta chapter was founded in 2010.
Coming up after the break, it's prom season. We'll take a look at how local high school students started off their big night on Elon's campus.
Welcome back to Elon Local News. We have new developments on a story we've been following since 2014. Senior Elon women's soccer player Nicole is set to begin a new clinical trial as she continues her fight with cancer. Danieley, the 2013 Southern Conference Player of the Year, will begin taking chemotherapy pills at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center at the Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. In a post on Danieley's GoFundMe page, her coach, Chris Neal, says she is very excited about the opportunity. Danieley was diagnosed with Ewing's sarcoma in February of 2014, and she was deemed cancer-free later in the year, but the cancer returned this past February. Nicole is set to speak at this weekend's Elon's Relay for Life event to share her story and the journey she's been on over the last 2 years.
The season did not start off well for the Elon baseball team. The Phoenix are struggling around the halfway point of the season with a losing overall and CAA record. But Elon has turned it around since Game 30 and has won 5 straight conference games. The key was a sweep this weekend against Towson University. Towson was tied for the CAA lead at the beginning of the series. This is the first time since 2013 that Elon has won 5 consecutive league games. The next game for the Phoenix will be at High Point on Tuesday.
Do you remember prom? Local high school students gathered in the area around Fonville Fountain this weekend, taking photos for the memorable occasion. How fun was that? Those pictures looked so great. They reminded me of my prom pictures, except we were around a pool and not really a fountain on a college campus.
I completely agree, and I remember we couldn't get just one perfect picture, and all of the boys definitely weren't a fan of the ladies because we had to keep getting it until we got the perfect shot.
Absolutely, yeah. We almost got pushed into the pools by a couple of guys, too, for us.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight.
And for the latest, most up-to-date news, check our website at elonlocalnews.com, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at elonlocalnews. And we also have an app. You can search Elon Local News on the Apple App Store, where you can find the latest Elon news 24/7.
From all of us here at ELN, have a great night, Elon.